Hey there guys, long time no see. I'm making a video that I never thought I was gonna make because, as a person living with severe mental illness who has, a criminal record, I've always held on to jobs. I've been too nervous to do my advocacy, my speaking, my comedy full time, but I quit my job. And I should have been making this video like 2 months ago. But as you guys know, with me and my YouTube schedule that I keep saying I'm gonna get in place and I haven't, I wanted to finally announce that to you guys, and I have a bunch of details to get into. I want to tell you about what I've been so busy with, what to look forward to, and why I made this decision. I think it's a super important conversation if you follow my page, because you know that having a job has always been really important to me. Once I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, I felt like I couldn't do what everyone else did. And as silly as it sounds, I know a lot of people don't want to work every day, and don't get me wrong, I don't either, but having a job allowed me to feel like I regained some freedom in my life, like I was an independent adult. And so it was kind of hard to let go of that. But before we get into it, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, thank you guys so much for 50,000 followers. I do see you guys interacting with my short form content. I'm posting that a lot more frequently, so I really do appreciate that. But let's get into this. So, as a lot of you probably know, over the past few years, as I've continued to grow on social media and do advocacy and motivational speaking, I've maintained a day job. Now, that being said, the busier I got, the more time I had to take off of work and the more time I had to use PTO and take unpaid time off, especially within the last year, because I started booking so many motivational speaking events that I was taking off weeks at a time. I'm very lucky. I had a manager who was super understanding. He was super supportive of everything I was doing, and so I was able to take some unpaid time off, and you can only do that for so long. It basically got to a point where I had to have a conversation with my manager, and he was like, if you're gonna be gone as much as you are, you might have to look for something else. And it was, I was really afraid to take this leap, because the last time I quit my full-time job to try to do advocacy and social media full-time was 2 months before COVID hit. So I had originally quit my job. I was going back to school. I was working on my nonprofit, and then COVID hit. And everything shut down. So I was finally starting to book speaking events, and I was like getting money from social media finally, and I had enough where I felt comfortable taking the plunge. And COVID hit, everything shut down. There was no more speaking events. There was that sum of income that I had was gone. And so I started working a sales job. And that's the job that I held up until recently. I was really grateful for that job, and I was nervous to let it go, because the last time I tried to give up full-time work, the world shut down. It's a super important conversation for me, because mental health and mental illness in the workplace is something I'm super passionate about, and it's something I'm going to continue to talk about. As someone who not only went to school for human resource management, but also has worked in a lot of different industries, because I have a criminal record and I have a felony, finding jobs was super hard for me, because I was also struggling with schizophrenia, and it was hard to get through job interviews professionally and present myself in a way where I could get a job. But when I did start finally getting jobs, it was getting very difficult to keep jobs because of my mental illness, and people started seeing that there was something wrong with me. And this was before I was diagnosed, and even after I was diagnosed, I wasn't talking about it. I wasn't letting, my hiring manager or HR know what was going on with me. So they just would start to see me acting erratically or in a way they didn't understand in the workplace. And so I want to continue having conversations about mental health and mental illness in the workplace. I have a super cool project coming up about that topic specifically, and make sure you keep an eye out for it, because I'm super excited. But I just want to get into a little bit about why I quit, what I've been doing the last couple months, why I haven't been posting, and then tell you guys what you can look forward to on this page moving forward. One of the first announcements that I'm super pumped for is I have a new editor, which is gonna hopefully mean that I'm actually gonna start posting every week. I know when I started my YouTube page, I had a goal of posting twice a week. I would still love for that to be my goal, but for now, I'm gonna say Fridays every single week. I would like to have a video posted. If you've been following me long enough, you know how this goes. I'm really gonna try to stick to that though. I feel like I have a lot of content I need to get out, and you guys are always so receptive. I always get so much support, and it allows me to do the advocacy I do and be able to reach people all over the globe. So we'll see what happens. Since I left my job, I have been traveling all over the place. I went to South by Southwest. I've been doing speaking events at long-term care facilities. I've been speaking at conferences, and I've been doing stand-up comedy. For those of you who haven't been able to see any of those clips, you can follow me now on TikTok and Instagram at Kody Green Comedy. And I also have one other project that I haven't gotten a complete approval to talk about yet, so that has to wait probably for the next video. But that's kind of all the projects I've had going on, and it's been incredible. I've been so busy, and I'm so grateful. As a lot of you know, I'm also doing a podcast with my wife. We've shot 2 episodes with the intention of trying to do a weekly podcast, and that has been a little delayed because of my transition into doing social media and motivational speaking full time. So that's the Neuro Blend podcast. That's going to be a podcast with my wife, who is on the autism spectrum, and that is going to be still happening. We've just had to put it on the back burner while I get caught up on all of the other things I'm doing for advocacy and for being able to jump into social media full time. So the actual overall topic of this video is about my job, why I quit, and so a little bit of a backstory into this. I've been working in sales now since COVID, and I love it actually. I really enjoyed doing it. As someone who has a felony and a criminal record, I kind of thought when I got out of jail and I got my diagnosis that I would just be working like production and manufacturing jobs forever, which there's no shame to that. Some people love those types of jobs. I couldn't do a lot of the tedious, like repetitive work that happened in those environments. I also felt like a lot of those environments were really toxic and had very negative energy. And so personally, I couldn't see myself doing that super long term, which was part of the reason why, I went back to school. And I was really hoping to get more of like an office type job. And so when I quit my other job and then COVID happened, I had to find a new job. I started applying for anything like customer service related, just to get me into like an office job, just to get me somewhere where I could do like a more professional role and get all of like the training I needed for, answering phones and saying that I can operate on Excel and all that fun, stupid office stuff. But it was really important because that's the role I wanted to work. So I started at this company that I recently came from, working behind the desk in customer service. And then I went to go leave that job after a few months, and they talked me into staying in on sales. And I actually really enjoyed sales because I'm an outgoing person. I love talking to people. I got to get out from behind the desk. And so I really liked it, and I was good at it. And so I started really just enjoying the job and my coworkers. I bet at least one of them will see this video, and to them, they are awesome. I do love all of them. They were super great to work with. And it was really interesting because it was the first workplace where everyone that I worked with knew that I had schizophrenia. Not just knew that I had schizophrenia, they had been around me long enough that they would start recognizing if I was having symptoms before I did. So like if I was having auditory visual hallucinations at work, my coworkers usually noticed before I noticed. And so, I had a really great relationship with my manager and with the sales manager and with my other coworkers, where if I was having symptoms, then they would make sure that, they were able to get me to a safe place and even get me home. Back when I lived like an hour commute, I used to have to stay at a hotel because I would start having symptoms at work and I can't drive an hour back home. So I would have to like leave work, go stay at a hotel, and then come back to work the next day. And I actually have like several videos of me using my phone technique of trying to identify hallucinations, but in my workplace and in the break room. So I felt really comfortable in this workplace, and I think I appreciated that so much that that's why I liked the job. I don't even know if I actually liked the work as much as I think I did. I think it was just so nice to be comfortable and know that even if I was gonna have symptoms or have hallucinations at work, that I had people around me supporting me. So this was huge for me, and this is part of the reason why I held on to this job so long. My advocacy, my motivational speaking, my social media has been at a point where I could have done this full time a year or two ago, like very comfortably. But I really thought, I wanted to have a job. I was so sure that this was something that made sense for me, and that, as a person with, a severe mental illness and a criminal record, I'm very proud to have been able to work full time for all the years that I have, and I'm still going to be just on my own stuff now. So that's super exciting. I also really do think that the people around me and the environment that they allowed me to be myself and share about my diagnosis and share about my content too. Like, a lot of them knew that I'd be going on trips and they'd ask me about it when I got back, and they were all really supportive of what I do and the type of content I make. And so I'm really grateful for all those people that I worked with. And I think I would have held on to this job longer, but I got busy enough where if I wanted to keep doing speaking and social media, I wasn't going to be able to hold on to that job, or vice versa. So something had to give. And for me to dedicate the time I want to spreading awareness to schizophrenia, addiction recovery, I just couldn't do that anymore. So this is officially going to be my full-time job. I'm excited to do a lot more content, a lot more lives here on YouTube and on the other platforms, but my main focus is going to be here on YouTube now. So I post a lot on Instagram. I'm getting a lot of daily content on there, but I'm going to be really putting the long format, all of my speaking events that I'm allowed to post on here, all of my Q&As, all of my comedy sets, all of my long form content is going to live on this page. And so my goal is for my YouTube to be the core of the rest of my social media. It is currently my smallest page, so I'm hoping that this reaches the right people and that I can really start making a difference here on YouTube with my content about mental illness, mental health, and schizophrenia. I did a video in the past about mental health and work, and I think it's such a crucial topic. I want to do another video too when I have this new project that I'm working on finally public. I'm going to do another video about how I function day to day in the workplace, what it meant to me to have those really good dynamics with my HR team, with my hiring manager, with the other salespeople, and really dive deep into what people can do both from a management standpoint and from an employee standpoint to make sure that it's possible for not just yourself but for other people to be able to thrive if they're struggling with some sort of mental health issue or mental illness. Because at the end of the day, not everyone's going to be able to do social media full-time as a job, which still kind of blows my mind. I haven't fully wrapped my head around it yet. Not everyone's going to have the opportunity to do that. And so finding ways that we can make the workplace more comfortable for people with mental illness is so important. I still want to be a part of that advocacy realm because I'm very passionate about it. That's why I wanted to go to school for human resource management. That's why I really talk a lot about what it's like working with a mental illness and what it's like trying to function day to day with a mental illness. Because when I talk about my hallucinations, my delusions, when I share about all the things going on in my life, people often forgot that I still went to work the next day, or if I was having symptoms, late at night, early in the morning, sometimes I went to work that same day. And a lot of people never saw that because you know, you guys, you get to see a lot of my life through social media, but you don't get to see everything. And so I think it's so important to have these conversations. I'm so excited to still be a part of these conversations, but I am no longer working for anyone except for Kody & Co. LLC. If you didn't see my TikTok 2 years ago about my LLC, it is called Kody & Co. I am the only employee, and if you still don't get the joke, what are you doing here? I'm just kidding. But seriously, thank you guys all so much for the support. I appreciate everyone who's been really invested in, you know, helping me grow my Instagram page and helping me grow my platform on here. If you could do me one more favor, make sure that you share this with your friends and family, anyone you know who might be struggling with schizophrenia or who might be caring for a friend or family member struggling with schizophrenia. I'm gonna start posting a lot more resources, a lot more about my day-to-day life. I'm gonna have some videos coming up about different topics. My next couple videos are gonna be about long-acting injections. I'm gonna be doing a video about how to tell your friends and family about your diagnosis. I'm gonna be doing a video with Gabe Howard, the bipolar advocate. It's gonna be more just how to help a friend or family member struggling with severe mental illness. I'm gonna be doing a video about why I started doing comedy and what that looks like for my future in speaking and my future in advocacy. I also have some videos about like the top 10 ways that I cope with auditory or visual hallucinations, my funniest hallucinations, my scariest hallucinations, talking more about addiction and schizophrenia, talking more about my time being incarcerated. And so I have an endless amount of videos that I want to share with you guys, and I'm really excited to start doing that on a regular basis. We're sticking to it, guys, I swear, we are. Once a week, hopefully twice a week. I just want to say thank you guys so much for continuing to support me, and I'm so excited to start sharing even more of my life with you guys, not just what's going on, what to look forward to, but also kind of deep diving into some of the stuff about my past that I've never talked about on TikTok or Instagram. That being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. As this is my full-time job now, I would love to see you guys in my new weekly live stream. The day and time has yet to be determined. I'm just trying to figure out what would work best for my and my wife's schedule, because we're also trying to figure out when to record our new podcast we're doing together, and so I just got to make sure I don't overlap times. So I'll probably also do a poll in my YouTube posts here to ask you guys which days and times you would most prefer. Obviously, it's not going to work for everyone, but I would like to reach the most people as possible. And as always, please remember, don't worry, I'm real. Take it easy, guys.